just talking about the wires.
Yeah, well,
Yours
I'll
fits
invite her
here,
to do
or
this show,
his hands
but
can reach all the way over there. So
I don't know.
switched gears.
She did my last podcast. We'll see. I try not to bug her.
We're live?
Almost.
Or like 3.
She's written a couple more songs.
Oh, that happens eventually.
10 seconds, everybody. Best show ever. Best show ever. Best show ever.
Oh, Justin.
Good show.
Best show.
5,
Best show
4,
Hey,
pray.
got it. All right.
Our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, we'll find a friend to care it.
We are Our Place Out Loud. I am your lovely and captivating host, Louise Palanker. You are not alone at Our Place, as the girl just sang. Here with a panel of wise and wonderful teens, we've got Nikki, Maddie, Jake, Rhodey, and Justin is in the booth. Yuli is here. And special in-studio guests include my mother, my sister, and my stepsister. Give it up. And, of course, Howard Lapidus and Matt Sigmund. And and of course, Teresa's here, because if we can't really do this without Teresa. And when she doesn't come, we just send everybody home. So it's a better idea that way. So anything to report? Memorial Day weekend just happened. If you're watching this in real time, if you're watching this in rerun, Memorial Day did not just happen, but it happened at one point in historic American history, which is the present for us today. Nikki, did you have a good Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, I played the worst basketball game of my life, maybe, yesterday.
How did that
But
happen?
besides that,
Who can we blame?
I think it's on me.
Oh, wow.
I think it's my fault. Yeah.
Ownership.
Takes a big man to something expression.
Yeah.
Wait. Write that down and put that, make that the next big Tumblr like that we Maddie, did you have a nice weekend?
Sort of. I mean, it was just like a pretty normal weekend, and then yesterday I did like my first like shift, like at Teen Line.
Are you going to use the word like when people call?
Light.
You're like really
Yeah.
not sad? You like
Yeah.
just like think you're sad? Like, is that how they teach you to do this?
No.
All right,
Um,
start over.
so very eloquently, I shall speak.
Yes.
So yeah, it was pretty much like a simple type of exercise. It was not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Did the phone ring?
The phone did not ring,
Oh.
as it was Memorial Day. Like,
Oh.
not a single call
You didn't
the
get a call.
entire night, which is good because that means that teens are not in crisis.
That's
so
good.
yay.
Everyone had a good happy Memorial
But
Day.
everybody was having barbecues, and it smelled so good, like, everywhere.
And you
then-
were-
And nobody brought us food.
No
which
one
was
brought
really
you food.
sad.
All right, next Memorial Day, we're all bringing Maddie food on Memorial Day.
Yeah. Please
Jake,
do.
did you have an interesting weekend?
Yeah, I saw the new Godzilla movie, which is terrible. I advise all of you to see it, just
Yay.
because it's so terrible you'll enjoy it. I don't know, that was
So
yeah,
in
it was
terms
fun.
of like disaster movies, the disaster was in fact the movie.
The movie itself was the disaster,
I
yes.
see. Rhodey?
I had to work on Friday and Saturday, so it didn't feel like a long weekend.
Okay. And what were you doing?
Working at a bakery.
Oh, did that smell good too?
Yeah.
Okay. What did
Smells
you
really
bake?
good. I made like parts of a lot of things. So like the filling for cinnamon rolls and like the crumbly stuff that goes on top of muffins.
Okay.
I scooped a lot of cookie dough.
All right. So it's kind of like the component parts of baked goods.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. So we're going to dive right into questions. If you have a question for us or a comment, or you'd like to tell us what you did this Memorial Day weekend, give us a call at 888-531-7171. We are Our Place Out Loud. Wheaties97 writes, me and this guy have been talking. We aren't BF/GF, but we both act like we are, and we have been talking about making it official. I found out he was talking to another girl. Do I have a right to be mad? He said he ended it. All right, so what I first of all wanted to start out by asking you guys is this. It seems like I've been getting a lot of posts and questions from kids where they refer to talking, and I've come to understand that talking to kids doesn't mean having a conversation. It means chatting in a flirty way via texty machinery. So does anyone else understand what she means? When she says talking, she doesn't just mean she was having a conversation. She means we've been talking in a way which indicates possibly we are more than friends. Is that the nomenclature that you have come to utilize, Maddie?
You know, I might sound old, but I still use talking as reference to, like, hi, Jake. Like, now we're talking.
No. You'd be incorrect.
God, should I be jealous?
No.
No, because if you're talking to someone, you're not talking. You're,
Yeah.
I'm all. And he was like, so we were all, right? No one ever actually says the word talking to refer to
No.
a conversation.
That's very true. I mean, I say talking.
You do?
I do. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, or like, you know.
You read too much.
Thank you. Wait, is that an insult or a compliment?
It's a compliment.
No, I mean, yeah, it's definitely more confusing now that, especially now that we have like texting and online chatting and all this kind of stuff. So, talking has kind of taken on a whole new meaning
I
of
think
what talking is. But I would agree with you in that when she says talking,
Yes.
it's kind of like a, you know, they were talking as in like they were either like exchanging contact, like, you know, in not a platonic way.
You know what I think talking is the modern version of maybe when people used to say, I've been getting acquainted with this young lady. So
Yeah. What year are you from?
say, mister, it's the 20s and I'm getting acquainted. But I think there maybe throughout history there have been different ways of saying getting to know or becoming friendly or with. So you're not actually dating, but you're spending a lot of time communicating and it's possibly leading up to dating, like whatever that's called. Yes, Nikki.
I have a question. What is making it official? What does that entail? How
The word dating.
in this day and age?
The word dating.
In this day and age, making it official.
Going out.
How do you make something official?
Even if you're not actually going out, the term going out.
Right.
Maddie.
I might be wrong then. I thought it was like, hey, do you want to like be my boyfriend? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then I'm your girlfriend, and that's official.
Official
Right?
would be,
Is-
yeah.
is-
Official
oh, sorry.
would be.
Sorry.
That happened quickly.
Wow. Homewrecker. BFGF. Oh, someone might have the answer to that question, Yulia. The phone is ringing. BFGF would be. How does it work at your school, Nikki?
I mean, I guess making it official. I guess all you have to do is ask the question to make it official,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
I mean, is it? Yeah. I
Right.
guess that was the answer.
So would there be a certain amount of talking via chat device that would go on before someone might say, or do people still talk face to face before they say, you know, I think I may like you. Do you want to go out?
I think in those situations, it's still a lot of face to face. So I think people see it as superficial if you're doing that kind of heavy talking or whatever over the internet.
But if you're 12, it
Right.
may be exactly what's happening.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I agree.
let's get right into her question. Do I have a right to be mad? He's been talking to her and talking to another girl. I'm going to kind of say if you're not official, then he can talk to lots of people to determine who he may like to date, but he shouldn't be saying things while talking like you're so cute or you're really beautiful. He shouldn't be saying that. Sorry, I just said like Maddie, I owe you a quarter. He shouldn't be saying that to a lot of different girls, because if you're that flirty talky with a lot of different girls, then you have a right to be mad. But he does have a right to have friends via chat or via text. Maddie?
Well, I mean, she has a right to be mad. Like everyone has a right to feel however they want to feel about any situation. It's just whether or not you're going to act on how you feel. That's the issue. So, like, she can feel mad, she can feel jealous, like, she can be like, I am betrayed. But, like, if she doesn't act on it, then it's fine. But if she does, that's a separate issue.
So it's like, if you really dissect the question, they were talking about making it official, and then she found out he was talking to another girl. I think you have a right to feel whatever you're going to feel, but you also have a right to ask him. And
Of
he
course,
said he
yeah.
ended it. He ended the talking. He ended the flirting. Like, what exactly did he end? Because were they official? Did he end? Was he ever dating her? You do have a right to say. Or is it weird if a kid just flat out says to another kid, "What are we?"
No, that's not, like...
Is that
no.
the right way to say it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah, what are we?
Yeah.
Jake.
I'm a little confused by the tenses used, because he said he
Mhm.
was talking to a girl and he ended it. I don't know if this is a their whole situation, or
Right.
she or it was a thing that was happening and he or she approached him about it, and then he said, "Oh yeah, that's over now," or he ended it because she approached it. Either way, if it's actually over, if you can somehow find out if he's actually telling the truth about that, then you totally should. You can feel mad. Obviously, you're going to feel how you feel, but you shouldn't feel upset about him because he's totally trying to do everything he can to make it better, which seems perfectly fine for me, right?
Exactly, unless he's just saying he ended it, which a lot of guys get in the habit of saying, I'm not talking to any other girls, and then you find out they actually are. So it's like your behavior is the best measure of whether or not your words have any meaning. So just watch his behavior and see if it matches his words, because that's the definition of integrity. As maybe integrity has deeper meaning than that, but one of the measures of integrity would be, do your actions match your words? Jake.
Okay, well, yeah, because in my mind, she talked to him about it, and either he had already ended it and it's not an issue, or he did end it because of her. So either way, in my opinion, as long as there's no reason to distrust him, he seems like perfectly reasonable in this, right?
I agree. He hasn't
Well,
done
yeah.
anything extremely heinous yet, but we're watching him. All right, Queen Charlotte writes, okay, so I don't know why, but I'm always really scared to ask my single mother for stuff, even if they are reasonable and good price, and I will pay. I'm 11, by the way, and she doesn't mean or anything, and I love her heaps. I just am scared that she will say no or anything like that. I feel like I am doing something bad every time, and I hate it because it makes me feel really nervousness, even though I know she loves me and she doesn't do anything mean or hurtful. I was too scared to ask her for a starter bra, even though that's totally normal that I had to ask her by text. So it sounds like the kid is like really aware of the financial situation that her mother is in, and so even asking for what I would consider to be basic needs, like a training bra, she's feeling shy or uncomfortable or scared or nervous to ask for things, even though she said she's willing to pay for it. Do you guys have any advice for kids who are aware of their parents' financial situation? Nikki.
I kind of feel like at the age of 11, your money is kind of her money too, and your mother's job is to pay for your basic needs, the food and if you need new shoes and a training bra, whatever. That's your mother's jobs. I don't feel any remorse asking your mother when it's something that she should be doing.
Are we reading between the lines, though? Is she nervous about the financial aspect, or is she just nervous about asking for a training bra? Ladies? Maddie?
I'm gonna say both. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with both.
because she went with the text, so
Yeah.
now she's talking to her mom about
Yeah.
about getting a bra. So it's
Yeah.
getting serious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of two separate yet kind of like combined issues, because I think it's also like the money that has to pay for the bra, and then also what like the thing that she wants to buy is the bra. So it's like a combination of the two, is what I would say.
Do you guys think that texting is a good means of saying something to your mom that you're afraid to say face to face? Jake?
I would say that's the modern kind of version of write them a letter. Then you can kind of pre-plan your thoughts and everything like that. But I think you're not going to come across as greedy because you want to be bought underwear. No greedy kid is like, give me all the underwear. I want all of it. No one's that crazy. So to ask for something like underwear or food, they're not going to be mad at you for wanting the basic necessities of life.
Oh, my mother has a thought. This is going to get good. Did you text your mother about things? Were you talking to your mom?
This is my thinking, and I'm probably reading something out of nowhere. I'm thinking of the single mother, and I'm thinking of the single mother's position and the guilt that the single mother might feel whenever her daughter asks her for something and she feels that she has to deny her something that might be, I'm not talking about the bra, I'm talking about magazines or records or something like. Do people even listen to records and records?
Yes,
Whatever
records
people
are
listen-
recordings, and so no
oh,
matter how you
okay.
receive your music, it is a
Okay.
recording, and
I
your
just-
term
okay.
record is still appropriate, I feel.
But so I'm thinking of the mother's guilt, and then I'm thinking of the child's apprehension about provoking the anger that the guilt comes out of the mother. And I'm wondering if there is a way that, even though it's adult to child, they can discuss what their financial situation is so that the child has a better idea of what she can expect to be entitled to. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but I also think that if you're a single mom or whatever your financial situation, as your kid gets to the age of adolescence and you know that she may have to ask you for deodorant,
Kotex.
razor, or anything involving feminine needs, that you would do a preemptive strike and sit with her, because I do remember the moment you came to me and you said, "It's the day." where we where we get the deodorant and whatever else I needed to be a lady. But yeah, it's the mom should think, okay, I've got a 10 or 11-year-old daughter. It's time to just walk into her room with these things
But
and
you-
say, let me know if you have any questions.
But this question is not coming from the mom. This question is coming from the 11-year-old's perspective, who is frightened to discuss these things with her mom. So, yeah, sure, the mom should do these things,
Right.
but
So
we
if-
don't know what's going on in the
No,
mom's
and so if the mom hasn't, I want to kind of empower the child to say it is your right to inquire as to these. As Jake said, she's not asking for things that are selfish. She's asking for things that are pretty necessary, and it's her right to ask if they haven't been presented to her, and not worry about the money. Let your mom worry about how to keep the family afloat financially. But if you feel that it's time for you to have to shave your legs or have deodorant or have a trainer bra, then I think texting is a good way to not feel so nervous and worry about what color your face is turning and all of these things. But it is your right to ask, and you can then when she comes to you and says, okay, let's talk about this, you can then offer to pay or offer whatever. But I mean, there's probably even places that have used. I mean, it sounds gross, but no, you don't want to use eBay trainer bra. What? Look up trainer bra on eBay and see what we find, Matt. I bet it's going to be really good.
You want me to add that to my Google search history? Thank you.
How about deodorant on eBay? Let's see if there's any. The next question comes from the confessions area of our place, and who wants to read this? Nikki, you have a really good DJ voice. Confession from Dr. Swaggy.
So this is from Dr. Swaggy. Confession, I'm insecure, but really what teenager isn't? I just can't seem to see the beauty in myself no matter how hard I try, especially with the friend who everyone finds pretty. I hate being the ugly friend. I'm also super antisocial and just can't seem to ever make more than one friend. I hate the fact that I'm this way because I wish I could express myself in person the way I express myself over the internet. I'm also a super judgmental person no matter how hard I try not to be.
Okay, so that came in under confession. What if you had read this post in confession? What would you have said that might have made this person feel better about everything? Any wisdom? Or are you going to rely on the wisdom of me? Because that's going to be pretty sketchy. I would say that you may feel like the ugly friend, and your friend may feel like the ugly friend. Like, a lot of the times, things that you may envy in someone else, they may envy something else in you. And you're not confident that that's how you're presenting. So don't assume, and don't use the word ugly to describe yourself, because I really find that if you're looking into the mirror to find your own worth, you may not find it there, because we're all sort of judgmental about the way we look. And if you look out into the world at other people that you may help, then you will see your worth reflected in the face of someone that you were nice to and that you were friendly and that you smiled at. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay. I just want to extend this advice out there. Pretend to be confident, like even sarcastically, even. Like, our brain works in that once we develop a pattern, we just kind of keep doing it. So if you think, oh, I'm so insecure, and then, oh, I feel down on myself, I'm ugly, your brain's just going to keep doing that. That's how we work. So if you just keep pretending to be confident, and you keep pretending to be outgoing and talkative and all this stuff, no matter how fake it seems at first, eventually you can totally retrain your brain to actually enjoy having conversations. And especially about things like social behavior, that's really adaptable in people. So honestly, just pretending you're confident. And also, one other thing, being nice. That's just like the number one thing that no one's going to hate you for. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're really shy. If you're just a nice person, no one's going to not like you. And just knowing that enough is enough to, like, kind of boost your confidence a bit, saying that no one hates me. And then you can go, no one dislikes me. No one isn't this. And then you can keep building up until, like, just everyone likes you because you're just a nice, friendly, outgoing person.
Right, but it doesn't work that way at first, because if you're being picked on, you could be very nice, and then people are picking on you, and then immediately you start to get prickly just to defend yourself, and so it could spiral backwards really easily, and it's so hard to fight against that and be nice even when someone is saying horrible things to you or about you. Nikki.
I think a big part of this is also the part where he says, I wish I could express myself in person the way I express myself over the internet.
Yeah, I like
I think
that
that's a huge issue right now
Yes.
for everyone, and I don't know how that can be fixed.
Well, what I wanted to ask you, Nikki, is do you think that the ability to express oneself over the internet at 12, 14, 15 is a precursor to eventually being able to express yourself in person once you get past your awkward years?
Maybe
Or is it just trapping you in a home in your mother's basement?
I think it's probably trapping you. I mean, I guess it could be. You could look at it as an outlet for the future, but I think it's probably trapping you.
But you know that you have the words, that you're able to use the words, that you're articulate, that you're well spoken. You know
Right.
that theoretically you could say these words out loud, and they would be just as effective if you were not so concerned about what
Right.
someone was thinking of your appearance or what he wants to speak.
I mean, I think it can definitely go either way. Like, for some people, if they don't feel like they can communicate in person, having that outlet of the internet to, like, talk to people is a good way to make them still feel like their opinions are valued.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, if they get too reliant on that, they don't feel like they can talk to people in person, then that can be really bad.
It needs to be a mix.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's definitely a good way to communicate with people and, like, stay in touch and, like, find people with similar interests and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of also need to push yourself to talk to people in person and make those kind of connections, too. So you have a mix of both.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It has to be a little bit of a mix. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to know that you have a voice online, but it cannot be your only voice, or you will get stuck in, like Jake said, you know, those brain grooves where it's like, oh, I'm only valid if I'm typing. We are at Our Place Out Loud. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. I would love to hear from you. Did you have a thought, Maddie?
No, I'm good.
No, not at all.
Not
If you want to talk to Maddie, you can call her on the teen. What's it called?
Teen Line.
Teen Line.
And the number is on their website, teenlineonline.org.
And it's also on Our Place in.
Don't laugh at me.
She's like the worst spokesperson ever for this place. Yeah, you should just start dialing numbers until you reach me.
Yeah, just like press a million numbers except for 9 and then 1 and then 1. Just like any other numbers.
But yeah, we do have it under the little telephone at Our Place. If you tap on the little telephone, you will see it. Love is Complicated writes, my boyfriend is hanging out with one of his friends on Friday. My boyfriend used to smoke pot and drink a lot. His friend still does this. I'm worried his friend might pressure him into doing that stuff. What should I do? So the idea of that you're dating someone that has a history of substance abuse, and now he's going to hang out with somebody with whom he shares this history of substance abuse. You are right to consider this a red flag. Would you agree or disagree, Maddie?
I would agree. But I would also say that it's not her place to say, like, don't go or, you know, don't do drugs while you're there.
What are
Because-
women for if we don't get to tell men what to do?
That's
mean,
a great question.
You're confusing me.
But it's going to, I think it's going to damage their relationship. It damages relationships when people tell other people what to do. And as much as, you know, we'd like to because it's out of concern, the better thing to say is that I'm concerned.
Oh.
And so start with the beginning part of, like, start where it comes from, the don't do it. Like, say what that comes from is, like, I'm concerned for you. Like, when you go there, I'm concerned that, you know, this might happen. So instead of saying, like, you know, oh, don't do it, just say, like, I'm concerned for you, and kind of express how much, like, you are concerned versus, like, how you are concerned for them because it's them that you're in them. So,
Right.
like, it's more about, you know, how much concern you have. Because oftentimes that makes people really want to be like, oh, no, don't be concerned, like, you know, and then later on they're like, oh, no, I don't want to do that because they're concerned about me. So I don't want to worry them even more by actually doing this. Nikki, what do you think?
I think that's a very romantic way of putting it, but I think that in reality, I don't know if that's feasible.
The meaner way to say it's like a guilt trip. It's like, no, please don't, because it would worry me so much, and I'd be like, I'm so worried for you, and it would make me, like, really upset if you went and did that. Like, I'm trying to guilt trip you into, like, not doing drugs.
Right? I just don't know if that's. I agree that in a vacuum that's great, but I also don't know if that's. I don't know if at the age we're talking about and with the drugs and everything, if that is viable, if that can actually deter someone from doing drugs.
But at least that you've spoken your mind.
Right.
You've said your truth.
Right.
Let's grab the phone and hold that thought, Jake. Hello. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Mrs. Jordan Chris Colfer.
Mhm.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Pretty good. We're doing excellent. It's a fine springish, summerish day here. My mom is here. Do you want to say hi to my mom? I don't know if she has headphones.
Hi, Mama Weezy.
Hi there. How you doing?
That's Mrs.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Do you have any questions for her about the type of child I was and what she's been through? Because she's finally recovering from having raised me, and she's ready to have some perspective on this subject.
I'm pretty sure that I can already figure out that she had a lot of trouble on her hands with you.
Yes, she
you
did.
are right on.
I was
Yeah.
a handful. So, what did you have to say tonight, Mrs. Culfer, or did you want to just keep your unbroken record streak running? She calls every
Was
week.
that
Yes.
answering the question?
Okay, good.
Something I need to tell Maddie.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I was going through a bunch of stuff, and I don't know, because I posted it on Instagram and tagged our place.
Oh, thank you.
I found a stuffed koala bear that I'd had since 5th grade, and I named it Maddie.
Aww, I'm
you
in
should
love with
see
it.
Yeah.
my face right now.
It's such a face.
Oh my god.
So, is that posted on Instagram?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we'll find it.
Oh, but I don't have
Okay.
Yulia's going to look for it, and we will.
Oh my gosh.
We will
This is so exciting.
repost it.
I'm a celebrity, guys.
You so are. And what else? Did you have something about whether or not she should let her boyfriend go out with his druggy friends?
Well, if she doesn't want him getting back on that, she may want to try and talk to him about that to see if she can convince him to do that, and maybe trying to help that.
See, because I'm going to take like sort of a further step from what Maddie was saying and Nikki was saying, which is that you can say once or twice, "I'm concerned," that if he continues with the pattern of behavior, you have to separate yourself from him, because it means that
Yeah.
he's doing that stuff with them. And if you don't want a boyfriend who smokes pot and drinks, then you can't change him. You can only change yourself. So if you do not wish to date a person that smokes pot and drinks, then that's when he'll have to decide what's more important to me, because people really will be most likely to change if you change, and then they have to respond to your change. Does that make any sense?
Mhm.
So you don't say it like, "I'm giving you an ultimatum." Like, you don't have to be that hostile about it, but you can simply say, "I can't date a guy who's going off and getting high. I love you, but I can't do that." And then you have to mean it, and then he can then make his next move based on what you've decided to do. Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like piggybacking. That's like a very appropriate way to like say it, but it wouldn't be her place to say like don't go.
Yeah.
Or like saying I don't want you to go. That's fine, because that's just saying what she wants. But saying
Right.
like don't go, or like I'm not letting you go, that it's not her place.
Yeah, you can't say, "I'm not letting you go." And those
Well,
are
not that saying that, maybe
Yeah.
giving him the choice whether he wants to do that or not,
Mhm.
hang out with those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be up to him, and then you can react accordingly based on the
Mhm.
type of person he's proving himself to be. All right, thank you so much for calling, Mrs. Culfer. We really appreciate you. Go have some summer fun, and we are at 888-531-7171. Jake, did you have a point on this one?
Well, Maddie kind of said it all, but
Oh, doesn't she always?
my point was just that the absolute worst thing you could do was say, "Oh yeah, you can't see these people. I'm disallowing it because I am in charge of everything you do." That's like the most harmful thing you can do, because not only does it it kind of just pushes you away from, you pushes the two people apart and him towards them, kind of out of rebellion. So it would be destructive a lot more than it could be in any way constructive.
You're not his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we can, kind of end most sentences with that. Nathan writes, advice for middle school. Around about this time of year, and then it ramping up as we go through summer, 8th grader or 5th and 6th graders are really nervous about middle school. And I know you guys have already survived middle school, so I'm going to go to Rhodey or Jake, advice for middle school, because there probably are 4 key sentences that would really be helpful, because it's very scary to go from a little kind of safe elementary school into the big halls of middle school. Go ahead, Roddy.
I mean, I'm probably stealing Jake's advice, but be nice to people. It's usually good advice in most scenarios.
It is.
And, like, go out of your way to say hi to people and, like, be friendly and get to know people. Because, like, you have to, like, initiate conversations if you want to make friends. I mean, my go-to in comfortable situations tends to be to sit in the corner reading a book. But that isn't a very good strategy for meeting people and making friends. And I'm usually happier if I put down the book and, like, go talk to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's good if you just really need a break. Because, I mean, you can definitely do that for, like, a period or so if you're just exhausted of having to put yourself out there socially. You can definitely just take a break and read a book for an hour. But, you know, if you want a friend, be a friend. Everyone there needs a friend. You could be that friend. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay. Yeah, you put it best when it's a experience that you survive. It's kind of terrifying, and we're all kind of afraid of it because it's something kind of worth being afraid of, but all these new experiences of like, oh, I have to know class schedules now. They don't just tell me where to go, or I have a locker and all this stuff. Everyone is having those at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not specifically that one kid, and they're all this pressure is putting on all of you, or just you. It's everyone. So all these shared experiences are kind of ways to open up to new people and like talk about how weird all this new stuff is. Because if you don't know a way to approach a person, you can just talk about all the new crazy stuff that's happening in both of your lives.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And so every year, and probably like within a couple of months, I'm going to be getting hit with a lot of questions of like, I keep having these nightmares where I forget my locker combination. So I've decided that the locker combination is some sort of metaphor for figuring out life. Because everyone, not only are they terrified of it, but they also dream about it. So you will figure out life, and you are not the only person in your school who's terrified of forgetting their locker combination. And you can walk up to any person in the school who's an adult. Don't just tell your combination to some kid, because I made that mistake and Mark Mulligan stole all my stuff. You know you're out there, and you know you have it, and I want it back. There's a mitt involved. But yeah, an adult, because somewhere in the school there's a big record of locker combinations. You know, this is backed up somewhere. This data must be contained somewhere, or your dad has the package that the lock came in, or something like that. So your world doesn't come crashing down if you forget your locker combination, or you know, because I say, well, write it in your notebook, but somehow the locker combination holds the keys to the universe, and everyone is just afraid of having to memorize that much data. And when you think about every password that you've memorized, even to get to 6th grade, it's funny, or not funny, but it's like interesting how terrified people are of locker combinations. Go ahead, Maddie.
I have a locker combination story.
Oh, do you? I'm sure
I
you do.
Well, actually, and it's kind of a bit of a metaphor. So at my school I went to Wildwood, and they don't give you a lock. You have to like get your own lock if you want to get a lock on your locker. And so I got one, and I was super excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so cool. I have a lock on my locker because I have a
Right?
locker and I need a lock for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this like big, it was like one of those like big like master lock. It's got like the big round ones with like the twisty thing.
Did you decorate your locker?
I did not actually. I felt like I needed to keep it like organized and chic. So I left it like undecorated. But anyway, my locker story. So I couldn't figure out how to like, I was turning it the wrong way to get the numbers, and I knew my combination. I was like, I know my combination. I can't get it to unlock. So I knew my combination, but then the lady at the front desk helped me figure it out. So that was the first time. The second time, I forgot my locker combination, which is like the big scary thing that's not supposed to happen. Forgot my locker combination. Nobody could open it. Everybody was like trying like, okay, like what's the code? I was like, I don't know what the combination is. So this guy, one of the school staff, he came with these gigantic like plier clipper things. You guys know which ones I'm talking about. They're like the size of like a bird's wingspan.
The
They're
locker
like
draws of life.
yeah. Okay. They were huge, and like literally the entire 6th grade class like gathers around my locker to watch like the lock
Get
thing.
it.
Yeah. Okay. So he comes and he like it like. It's like it's with the electric one that goes like until it like breaks.
Wow.
So and it was like going, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Was everyone wearing like those protective glasses?
No, that would have been so funny. But and so eventually like the lock just like shatters, like the whole thing comes apart like into like 8 different pieces.
Dude, I would have filmed that and put that in super slow motion.
But yeah, so basically the point is that they have locker clippers at every single school, like breaky things.
Yeah.
They have them everywhere. So don't freak out if you forget your locker combination.
Just tell a grown-up.
because- Or just tell a grown up. Or write it down and like put it on a sticky at home. Not at school. And don't do the thing my friend did, which is he wrote it on a sticky note and put it inside his locker. Which is like
The only thing worse is right outside your locker.
oh
That's bad.
that is worse.
That is really Jake.
Okay, a little bit more locker advice.
Okay.
One, most common locks can be picked open with like a soda can. Like you just cut it open. That's
Don't tell-
dangerous advice,
don't,
but
don't
like
corrupt the young people.
it's really easy and it's nice. It's way easier than the whole electronic press and the but
Soda can.
yeah, you cut it open, you make a little like niche kind of thing, and you just press it in and it opens up. Second, use your locker. If you use it enough, it's like people say, use it or lose it, or something. I don't know
Exactly.
what it's about.
Muscle
but
memory.
yeah, something like that. But your whole first day, just like between every single class, open up your locker. Even if you don't have anything to put in there, just open it up, close it again
The
for the
mo-
whole week.
The lock that Mark Mulligan stole. Ask me the combination.
What's the combination?
28-6-12. I was a 6th grader.
Yeah.
Jake is correct.
Yep.
I am proud.
It will once you memorize that locker combination, it's not going anywhere. It becomes a groove in your brain.
I don't remember my locker combination.
It's doing nothing for me. I'm just saying it's there.
No,
How do you
but
not know it? 1842, 41 or 42. They're the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
but
it's gonna
oh, maybe it's because it was the one I got cut off my locker.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
They also
That
cut
one.
it off your brain with the
Touch.
explosion.
just a little. But it
This
was
is not the combination you're looking for. Zap. Oh,
it was
okay.
a really pretty lock,
So,
though.
any other advice for middle school? It's like another thing that's confusing is like, oh, I'm not going to know my way around. I'm going to get lost. Some older kid is going to tell me the wrong information. I'm going to go down the wrong hallway, and everyone's going to laugh at me. Go ahead, Maddie.
Well, mine was actually like befriend the older kids. Like trust me, it works. My brother is in Jake's grade, so I'm in 9th grade. He's in 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was, becoming friends with all of my brother's friends. Because I don't really know why, but like I just kind of was, and it helped me so much to like have older kids there that kind of had already been there, and knew the way around, and like my school had like divisions, so they would like group 2 grades together, and so I had friends who were in the older grade.
Did you have a big buddy?
I did.
Did they give out buddies?
Yeah,
Awesome.
my buddy was super tall, like really tall, like your height. Tall.
Not taller than Nikki.
Almost.
Almost. Was he cuter though? Because no one is.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Any other middle school advice? Grown-ups, any middle school advice? You guys all got through middle school, right? Do we have any middle school dropouts here in the room? Matt, your kids are in middle school, right? What's their biggest fear?
Well, Colin's in 6th grade. He's just about to go to junior high or middle school. So his biggest fear is just adjusting, of course. And his sister is going to go to high school in the fall.
Oh, wow.
So, and she's excited. She's never had the typical fears that like I had as a kid.
What have you done with her? Why is this?
I don't know. It usually works out great for her, except when she won't listen to me. But
So
but
she
no, she doesn't seem to have those social anxieties so much. She's very outgoing, and she's already in show choir.
She a people person.
She's a people
She
person.
really is. Yeah.
basically optimistic individual.
I will get her here this summer.
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
really
yeah.
we want her on the show.
Yeah.
Jake.
Okay, this is my general advice besides be friendly. Don't panic. You're going to have to live through this like everyone does. And it's not as big of a deal looking back on it. It's just a really big deal because this is your first experience with like a real people's school. But enjoy it. Don't forget that this is school. You're with a bunch of your friends. You're going to have fun times at some point just because finding little points in the day to actually enjoy yourself is a lot less stressful.
And you know what? Don't be like Maddie. Decorate your locker because then you'll have more of an incentive to get back inside.
It was decorated on the inside.
Well, that's what I asked.
Oh, I thought you meant the outside. Everybody decorates the outside of their locker.
Only dweebs decorate. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Jake's school, they decorate the outside of the lockers.
Yeah, at my
Are we
school it was
dweebs?
like
No, you're awesome.
at
Or
my
we
school it was
dorkazoids
like
or whatever.
it was like a rainbow wall. Like it was just like
Oh, well, see, when I went to school, you didn't dare. I don't think you were allowed to decorate the outside. It was public school. It was, state property.
Did you guys like have that thing where like your skirt can't go like higher than like where your fingertips like go when
Did
you're
we
like
aim?
standing up?
We had some kind of a something. We
You
couldn't
guys-
even wear
do you guys
pants
have
until,
that?
like,
Do you have that at your school, Nikki?
yeah, like high school. We had to wear
No?
dresses.
Our s-
Guys couldn't wear dresses either. Matt Rhodey?
Yeah, our school doesn't have any rule about like how short shorts and skirts can be, but we have a rule that you have to have your shoulders covered at all times.
Okay.
Like, so distracted.
You got to draw a
by the
line.
shoulders.
You got to draw a line somewhere, right, Jake?
Because it's totally a mystery how their arm connects to the rest of their body. I seriously don't understand this. Like, of all the possible rules, I get crazy rules with, like, this length and this and such, and even colors if you don't want a special color, but, like, a shoulder is just kind of a socket. Look at my shoulder. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
It's super farmer's
Scandal.
tan,
Now
but
we
still.
have to give this a PG-13. So, but I think maybe saying shoulders is a nicer way than having to say cleavage. Because if your shoulders are covered, maybe you won't have a low-cut blouse.
I'm going to disagree with that one.
I don't understand fashion, do I?
I think I actually know the answer to this. Is the spaghetti strap
Ah,
is the issue.
okay.
They fear the spaghetti strap going over the shoulder. I think that's the main fear here.
And then your clothing may fall off.
Yes,
All right.
Really?
I think that's
I
the
think
case.
it has something to do with that, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the spaghetti
Oh,
strap is...
I always thought it was that, like, if your shoulders are covered, it's very unlikely that, like, your bra strap will show, like, on girls.
That's what he kind of means. Yeah.
I thought you meant, like, a tank top. Like, okay, no, sorry.
See, boys don't really know all of what kind of, like,
Sorry.
winches and pulleys are, maintaining the structural integrity
Well,
of the
it's just-
chestal area. So they
Yeah.
just see a strap and they're like, they're gone. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay. I get that whole point, but like with our dress code, you could legally wear like almost nothing and shoulder pads, and you're totally fine. No, it's so poorly constructed. I don't.
I
get it.
want that outfit, please. I'm going to be that person for Halloween.
Montana and I have been joking about like one day just showing up at school in bikinis with our shoulder pads on just to see what they would say.
Here, dress code. Yes. Maddie?
But, like, I don't know if, like, you guys have been noticing, but, like, I feel like girls, like, well, not just girls. I'm not going to, like, turn this into, like, a sexist thing. But, like, I feel like all, like, the shorts and all the skirts have gotten shorter.
Oh,
and
they
the
have.
tops have gotten lower and, like, shorter. Like, it's, like, kind of like there's, like, one band across the top and one band across the bottom, and that's pretty much it.
It's like sort of like having a very, fabric, green environment so that your fabric footprint is very minimal. The amount of
Yeah,
fabric that
yeah.
you're utilizing to...
Being eco-friendly.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Utilizing
Fabric footprint.
Yeah.
And, assuming that you have shoes because,
Yeah.
you may be saving fabric down there as well. Let's move on because I'm starting to make very little sense. Let's do... Howard's pointing. I'm not sure. Oh, we have a phone call. Should we do Thread Theater or... All right, let's see what this is all about. Maybe this is a dress code horror story.
Oh, just while we're waiting, I have a dress code horror story. So there was a girl. This was like when I was in like 7th grade. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. You can go. I'll tell
Hold
later.
that thought, Maddie. Hello. Hi, thanks for calling our place.
Hi,
Hi, who's this?
Johnny the Awesomeness.
Hi, how are you? Is school over yet?
School's over for me, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any dress code horror stories?
I think, well, I go to an inner city school, and it's mostly African American,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's really biased there because most of the black people can get away with literally anything they want to wear, and the white people cannot get away with anything.
And why would that be?
And I don't honestly, I don't understand why it's like that. It's just so stupid.
So has anyone kind of
don't-
brought it up to the faculty and asked the question as to why that would be?
One of my friends did, but they were like, well, we try to enforce it with everyone, and that is completely not true, and I don't understand why.
So what are some of the dress code? What are the how does it read the dress code?
You can't have anything like above fingertip length, and you can't show your butt or boobs, or you can't show your shoulders, which is one thing I did hear you talking about. Which I
Mhm.
don't understand the shoulder rule at all, because it's not like anybody's going to be like, ooh, girl, that's a nice shoulder there.
That's what we were talking about. All right. So what do you do to try and maintain the dress code, or do you just try and stay away from anything that's even like close to the borderline, or do you does it really make you angry that it feels like there's like some sort of racial bias involving the dress code at your school?
It just makes me, like, the racial thing is stupid. I mean, like, everything in my closet I can wear because I'm just, like, the kind of person that just wears a t-shirt and jeans every day.
Yeah. So that's
like,
good.
I have that little, like, I don't really care, I'm just here because I have to be here vibe, so.
You know, I really actually think that, you know, it's like kind of like a uniform. Like when you go to work or whatever, you may have a job where you have to dress up, or you may have a job where you have to do this or that or whatever, and then you're going to have all the clothes that you wear the whole rest of the time. And so it's the same thing for school. It's just kind of like, you know, unless you're kind of a person that really needs to like push the envelope to kind of challenge authority, like I would say just do the dress code, and then when you come home you can wear whatever you want and express more of your personality.
Yeah, I mean, school, you're just there to do, you know, do your work and get your grades and get out and stuff. And I don't understand why people dress up at all.
Well, I think they do because they want to impress their peer group or people that they find romantically attractive, and that's that's where the most people that you actually care about what their opinion is are congregating is at school. So I kind of get why people want to dress the way they want to dress is at school where their peer group is, but is it worth the grief that you might get or the embarrassment of being told that you have a dress code violation or your parents being told that you have a dress code violation? It's kind of...
Okay. Yeah, they'll make you go to ISS in my school and stay there the whole entire day. And then they'll, like, write you up for it, and you'll have to stand there even longer. So...
Yeah, choose your battles. All right, thank you so much for calling in. Don't hate the awesomeness. We love you. We're going to do Thread Theater. Bye-bye. Stay tuned for Thread Theater. We're going to do Thread Theater. We are Our Place Out Loud here with Nikki, Maddie, Jake, Rhodey, and, of course, Yulia and my mom. So, Mom and Yulia do everything together now. I'm, like, so jealous. So Thread Theater, we actually had two. I don't know if we'll get through both of them tonight, but we're going to do Thread Theater. I couldn't think of a good title for this one because it was actually a serious subject matter, but I called it Violent Double Standard. And we'll just start with you, Nikki. You can be, and I'll say out the names of the posters. This is Gone Like 1, 2, 3.
Kind of tough question. But if a woman hits a man, does the man have the right to hit her back?
Jenny.
No, I don't think that if a man hit a man, they would have a right to hit back, or if a woman hit a woman, they would have a right to hit back. No one has the right to use violence against another person. They have a right to defend themselves if they're genuinely in danger of being harmed, but that does not mean reciprocating the exact same amount of violence.
Trisha the human.
No, because the woman could have been protecting herself. The man said something hurtful towards her, and she slapped him or something. The man wouldn't get physical damage from her, but a woman can get physical damage from a man because they tend to hit hard.
Kenna 18155.
Nobody has the right to hit anyone, be they a man or a woman. The only time it is all right to harm an individual is if they pose a threat to you and you are acting in self-defense or the defense of another person.
Garrus 888.
If a man hit me, I would definitely hit back, but never a girl unless my life was in danger.
Okay, so he's a guy. So there are some guys that think that if a man hits you, that you should hit back. But the original question of if a woman hits a man, does the man ever? I guess the question then is, does a man ever have a right to hit a woman or to, let's say, touch a woman in anything but a loving manner? Jake?
My understanding was if anyone attacks you, can you attack them back? And I think it's more of a, like, the hit for hit seems like they're acting aggressively towards you, therefore you should act aggressively towards them. It seems like the rational thing to do would be act defensively about your own safety, and a hit is a very aggressive maneuver. You're trying to do damage to them. There are ways you can simply protect yourself and also, like, restrain them or stop them from attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things you absolutely have the right to do no matter who's hitting you. I don't care what gender or sex they are. As long as they're trying to do damage to you and you're trying to prevent that, not do damage to them, that's totally cool. It's
Right.
the attacking back that seems to be the problem here.
Right, but the question originally is, I guess, just to paraphrase it, does a man ever have a right under any circumstance to strike a woman? Nikki?
I mean, absolutely not. I mean,
And
it's...
that's what you've been taught.
Yeah, it's
So even though-
completely illegal, first of all.
Yeah.
Just not even forgetting the moral anything. It's completely illegal.
But if you watch a movie from the 40s, you'll see, like, someone hits Clark Gable and he just hits her back, and it's, like, real sexy.
Right. It's,
But if they did that in a movie today, there'd be outrage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
why did he do that? Clark Gable, why did you do that? That's not
40s,
cool.
man.
40s, man.
Crazy
yeah.
time.
Yeah, you better man up, woman. Maddie, your thoughts?
Oh, I actually I don't think that it's a gender thing. I agree with Jake. I think it's like because how do you know it's not like some woman like muscle builder and some like really like scrawny teenage boy? Like he's still a man, she's still a woman. Like if she just like friggin'
I mean, theoretically, I agree with you, but I'm going to be old-fashioned and agree with Nikki and say just under no circumstances does a man ever strike a woman because genetically, well, no, because that's another subject, Howard. But man versus woman, genetically, they are at different baseline strength levels, and a man could hurt a woman way more easily in most cases than a woman could hurt a man.
But if it's self-defense, then
Or even a man can restrain a woman by holding both her wrists much more easily than a woman could restrain a man by holding both his wrists.
But what if it's the only thing they can do to protect themselves?
They don't have to strike. I mean, I don't know of every contingency, but most boys are taught that you never hit a woman. I believe that's what most boys are taught, correct? I mean, it's not sexist to make that statement. Jake, what do you think?
Okay, well, for example, Rhodey could beat the living hell out of me. She actually does, like, cardio and gymnastics and all these things that actually, like, strengthens her body, whereas I play video games and drink terrible things like soda and, like, Mountain Dew, which is, like, uranium-colored. But,
Uranium-colored.
It's nothing should be that color. Okay, but, for example, if Rhodey was, like, for some reason attacking me, there's no way I could, like, defend myself in any way, shape, or form. I'm totally gonna hit you in the face. I'm sorry. That's how I'm gonna try and run away.
We're going on record with this?
Yeah, if she's gonna beat the living crap out of me, I'm gonna hit you and run. That seems like a reasonable thing to not take damage to myself, right? Why does my sex or her sex have anything to do with it? I want to get the hell out of there. She's stronger than me.
Nikki, please explain it.
Because the way the legal system works, just strictly legally, that's completely, the legal system is sexist in a way, but also what you were talking about genetically, that's why. But I think that if you were looking at the legal system in a complete vacuum, it is, by like the very fundamental standards of sexism, I think it's a little sexist. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No,
I think that a man has no right to hit a woman, but I'm also saying that it's for good reason, but it is a little sexist.
I think
it's not sexist. It's both. It's you can't hit people.
You can't hit people, and you know what Howard is saying is that like one of the most little reported crimes is a wife repeatedly beating up a husband because he doesn't ever call the cops because it's embarrassing. But Howard is correct. That would be domestic abuse, the same as if it were the other way around. But men, they don't know how to report it, and they don't know what to do about it. And so it isn't addressed, but I think I saw a movie of the week, probably starring Meredith Baxter. I'm not positive, but, you know, the probability is way up there because it would have been, you know, before the Melissa Gilbert period of movies of the week. Lifetime original movies about a wife who beats up her husband. What? Everyone's doing a lot of pointing. Rhodey, you're not going to beat up Jake, right?
No, I'm not. But like, I completely agree with him that if I were to, he would completely have a right to defend himself. Like, I think.
But would he have to hit you to defend himself?
If that were the only way
He's
to
not
get me to
capable
stop
of
attacking
holding your
him,
wrists?
Probably not.
No, he says no.
No, like that's the thing. I think like the core of this should be that like every person has the right to defend themselves if they are being attacked by someone who like is capable of attacking them, and they like that's totally their right. Like you shouldn't attack someone. It's not okay to hit people in general, but like self-defense is totally acceptable in whatever case, and it shouldn't have anything to do with sex or gender.
Okay, Maddie.
I just wanted to clarify. What I meant is that if defending yourself, if hitting the other person was the only way to defend yourself, that's what I meant. Just to clarify, I'm not saying people should be punching each other. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, you know, like if you're, you know, I mean, obviously, because yeah, it's not legal to hit people, just like in any sense. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure is that the correct legal thing? You're not allowed to like.
Yeah,
physically
definitely people
attack
have
people.
gone to prison for basically busting someone's face. Yes.
Right, yeah. So, but it's not legal to shoot someone either.
Yeah, unless you're playing
but
hockey.
if, you know, someone who shoots someone else in, like, self-defense,
It's called battery.
They're-
There's a
they're
there's a
not,
league.
like,
If Ron were
you
here,
know.
he would know the correct term, but I think it's assault and battery. It's not
yeah.
a bar fight isn't legal. You could go to prison for really wrecking someone's face with your fists. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay. Yeah, my point is just however the hell you get out of that situation, go for it. You're getting attacked by miscellaneously sexed human being, right? I don't care.
No, you're getting attacked by Rhodey. We already heard about her violent tendencies. We're all now just sitting here like this. Don't hurt me, strong woman.
I don't remember what my point is anymore.
All right, you'll remember. Maddie?
But I think basically I think what this question is referring to is like, if a guy, like says something or, does something, not like an attack, but just like, says something to upset a girl and she like slaps him, no, it is not right for him to just like go and punch her for slapping him. I think that's kind of what kind of situation this question might be addressing. In which case, yes, never hit a woman, never hit a man, don't hit people.
Don't hit puppies or babies.
Yeah, just
please.
Don't hit anything, please. Let's just not, Jake.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of varying ranges between like, oh, you, and just a straight up punch to the face. And it's never a good idea to jump to that one in any scenario. I think that if you're actually feeling threatened, the best way to deal with that is just to get out of there, to just kind of avoid the whole situation. But if you're actually going to be attacked and they're actively attacking you in an aggressive manner, not just like, meh, right? You're going to want to do something and run.
So the rule of thumb is don't lay a hand on anyone unless it's with love, because if you lay a hand on anyone, whether it's to shove them or anything in a way that is with aggressive intent, that will elicit a response in the person. And I will tell you a little story of the time I punched a man. All right, so I was working at Premiere, and me and Tony were going to see Terrence Trent D'Arby, and we thought that we were on the list because we were in show business. So we went to the front of the line, and we said, we're probably on the list because we're in show business. And the guy said, go to the end of the line. But we kind of were convinced that we were on the list on account of we were in show business. And I said, are you sure we're not on the list? He took his hands and pushed me, and I did not appreciate hands being on my body, not in a loving way, so I punched him in the stomach. We didn't go to the show. We never saw Terrence. He can sign his name upon someone else's heart because I never saw him perform the song. But yeah, I felt horrible, kind of, but I also felt like I learned what elicited that in me was his hands on me in an angry fashion. And he was like a security guard at a concert. Like, how dare you? So hopefully other people have punched him and he continues being punched throughout life because we don't like him. So I just think if when you go like this, she knows you're doing it lovingly. So that's a loving touch. So we all know the difference between we all know the intent behind the touch. It speaks louder almost than words, the intent behind the touch, because we all go through life touching each other all the time, and it's 99.9% loving touches. So what would make me punch a guy? That has only happened to me once. And I hope that never bubbles up in me again, because, boy, I'm a monster. I could do some damage. Maddie.
I was just going to say, like, Jake, you had, like, the perfect example. So it's like, if I poke you, it's not like send the nuclear bombs, like.
Nuclear.
I was close.
George W. Bush has been out of office for 6 years.
Speaking quickly.
Nuclear.
I'm speaking quickly. You know what?
I'm
This
teasing
conversation is over.
That was not a loving remark. I'm
That
sorry,
was not
Maddie.
loving.
I love you.
No, but I very seriously, I also just wanted to add. You said loving and also like wantedly loving. Like
yes.
there can be,
That's a whole topic for another day.
That's a separate thing.
Is
but
the,
like a
the
wanted,
sexual harassment
loving
video.
touch. Yeah. That was like 2 months of my training.
Wow.
Like I'm not kidding. It's unbelievable the stuff that people just think is like, nah, it's fine.
Wanted
Whatever.
advances versus
Like,
unwanted advances.
Yeah.
So
And actually, so one of the other things that we do is we answer emails that people send in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I got an email on Monday. It was like so sad. This person was like so damaged and abused. It was really sad, and it's just it kind of sucks. From like our end, like all we can really do in the moment is give them a referral to a place like Planned Parenthood or something like that for people that have been like sexually abused or raped, or like there's nothing really we can do, which is really hard. But yeah, definitely, make sure your advances are wanted. With anything, like, anything.
All right, we have time for one more question really quickly because I love this question so much. I want to know whether or not you guys think it's true. Gleek Girl writes, I have so many friends. Like, I'm not trying to sound cocky or something, but I really do. Everyone loves me. They all talk to me, and it's weird. I want them to stop. They are following me everywhere. I just don't know how to keep my privacy. I have 1,235 followers on Instagram. They all think I am their friend. I just want to be alone. What should I do? How do I keep them away?
Okay,
How about
guys.
delete your Instagram?
Confession, it's me.
Jake?
Okay, yeah, you're on Instagram. That's a social network. That's by definition to communicate with other people.
Big button on the top of your screen that says follow. They're
Yeah.
just following instructions.
The whole point of a social network is to socialize with other people. You're not going there to be alone. That's
Also, you can have a lot of people that think you're amazing and not have to engage all of them in conversation. Like, be flattered. They want to follow you. They're interested in what you do. That doesn't mean that you have to be their best friend. You can just say, I'm so busy. And, you can say things like, oh, that sounds great. These are Trishisms. If you don't have time for a person, I would love to. Right, Yulia? Oh, that is amazing. And then another year later, you'll, maybe run into them again and still be super nice and super friendly because you love them. You just don't have that much time in your day because you're Trish. Or this famous person. Who else had a comment?
I told you, it's me.
Oh, yeah, it's Maddie. It's 8 o'clock. So you guys have been amazing. Thanks for being with us. And give a hand to my mom, Mrs. Ruthie Palanker. Yes. And we will see you next time on Our Place Out Loud. Bye-bye, everybody.
I've been out there wandering. I've been in here wondering, hoping, reaching, wishing I could find my way. Then I found our place where we can dream and share it. Our place, you'll find a friend to carry. I may look a little hazy and I may feel a little crazy. I'm sifting through confusion and I'm searching for solutions, and I know I'm answer bound, 'cause I found our place where we can dream and share it. Our place, you'll find a friend to carry. Hear you, heal you, steer you back to kindness. Your soul may be in tatters. You'll learn what really matters. And our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, you'll find a friend to care. Hear you, heal you, steer you back to kindness. Your soul may be in tatters. You'll learn what really matters. And our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, you'll find a friend to care. Our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, you'll find a friend to care. Hear you, heal you, steer you back to kindness. Your soul may be in tatters.